Hey there, this is Mr. Thompson. I'm going to be starting a new type of video that I'll be uploading. It's basically just a bunch of example problems. It's going to be mostly maths problems, but I'll probably be up for doing science questions or even who knows what else, maybe even simple programming questions and stuff like that. So if you have questions, all you have to do is subscribe to my channel, and you can submit questions in comments or you can email me, and if you subscribe and then ask questions, I will do my best to answer those questions with a new video as soon as I can. Maybe not the same day, but hopefully soon enough that it'll help you out on an upcoming test or something like that if you want. Okay. Today I'm going to start out with an example of some stuff that my students are doing right now, which is solving simple equations. So using algebra to solve simple equations. Okay, our first examples, just the instructions are pretty simple. Solve the following equations using algebra, or algebraically. And don't forget to check your work. First example, first part, we got x plus 5 equals 8, and then we'll do t times 2 equals 14. Okay, so let's start with this first one, x plus 5 equals 8. Now, when we see problems like this, what we're being asked is to find the value of that unknown variable. So in the first one we got x, that's some number that we don't know. Now let me just say, I know this is an easy problem. Most people can probably just do this in their heads, but it's important to go through the process on easy problems so that then you can use the same process on more difficult problems. Okay, so while this is a really easy problem, we're going to do it step by step, and then that way it'll help you when you go to do more difficult ones. Okay, so x plus 5 equals 8. We're trying to find the value of x. The first thing I do is ask myself, what's happening to x? What's being done to x on that same side? And for this one, it's being added to, right? 5 is being added to x. We've got x plus 5, and that ends up equaling 8. Now, when we do this, when we do these problems, in order to solve the problems, we need to do the inverse operation of what's going on. So if there's addition, we need to do subtraction, because the inverse of addition is subtraction, kind of like the opposite. So we need to subtract, and we need to subtract whatever value is there. In this case, it's 5. So we're going to subtract 5 from that side. Now you can write the minus 5 underneath like that. Some people like to do a little arrow from one, because what we're going to do is we're going to recopy this whole problem down here in a new line, but we're going to change it by doing this minus 5. Okay, so but we're doing minus 5 on that left side. What that's going to do for us is get rid of the plus 5 so that we just have x, because that's our goal, is to know what x is. When we do plus 5 on the left, we have to do minus 5. When we do minus 5 on the left, we have to do minus 5 on the right as well. So I've done an arrow. I do an arrow on both sides with the same operation, minus 5 here and minus 5 here, right? Now, x plus 5 and then minus 5, the plus 5 and the minus 5 kind of cancel each other out. So we just have x, okay, on the left side. So we're rewriting this equation, but we've changed it, and the left side is now just x. So now we do 8 minus 5, and 8 minus 5 is 3. Okay? Now, as we've been told, we need to check our work. So, you don't always have the back of the book, particularly on a test. So we can check our work with these types of problems. All we have to do is rewrite the equation, x plus 5 equals 8. And in place of the x, I'm going to put in the 3, the number that we found as a solution. Okay, so now I just have to ask myself, is this equation true? Is 3 plus 5 equal to 8? And of course, it's a pretty easy one. 3 plus 5 is 8. So that confirms that x equals 3 was the correct answer. Okay, moving on. T times 2 equals 14. Let's get rid of that. Now, we're trying to find what t is equal to, and t is being multiplied by 2. Okay, now the inverse of multiplication is division. Division and multiplication are sort of like opposite operations. So we're going to divide, and we're going to divide by 2. Okay, the number that t is being multiplied by. I'm going to do this with the arrows on the sides, and of course if I divide by 2 on the left, I need to divide by 2 on the right. So now I'm going to do t times 2 divided by 2. What's t times 2 and then divided by 2? Well, exactly as was intended. Those 2's cancel out, and we're left with just t. But we have to do 14 divided by 2 as well. We have to do it on both sides. So 14 divided by 2 is 7. Okay, now let's check our work. We rewrite the equation, and I'm going to substitute in our value of 7. So 7 times 2 equals 14. We have to ask ourselves, is that true? Is 7 times 2 equal to 14? And the answer is, yes it is. So our answer is confirmed. Okay, those were pretty easy ones. Let's do some slightly more complex ones. Okay, same exact instructions. Solve the following equations algebraically and check your work. Okay, this time we've got 5 plus 9h equals 32, and then 20 minus 4d equals 8. So let's look at this first one. We need to figure out what h is. What's happening to h? Well, it's being multiplied by 9, and it's being added. 5 is then being added. Okay. Now when we do this, so we're going to have to do some subtraction and some division, because that's the inverse of addition and multiplication. But what order do we do them in? We know that we have order of operations, but when we're solving equations is kind of the opposite of evaluating. So we do order of operations backwards. BODMAS, if you're in Australia like I am, or probably in the UK and maybe lots of other places, or in America, we say PEMDAS. Either way, it's order of operations. We're going to do it backwards. So normally, when you have multiplying and adding, if you're evaluating stuff, you're going to do the multiplication first. What that means for us right now is we're going to deal with the addition first. Okay. Now the inverse of addition is subtraction. So we're going to subtract that 5 off of both sides. So when we add, 5 is being added, and then we're subtracting it. We're left with just the 9h on the left, and then we do 32 minus 5, which is 27. Now we can deal with this multiplication that's going on between the 9 and the h. Inverse of multiplication is division. So we're going to divide both sides by 9. So 27 divided by 9. Well, first of all, sorry, on the left, we've got 9h divided by 9. The 9's are going to cancel. So we're left with just h on the left. And now we'll do 27 divided by 9, which of course is 3. So we can check our work the same way. We can take the equation, rewrite it. Now with the magic of technology, I'm just going to replace my h like that. And now I'm evaluating this. So I'm going to do BODMAS forwards. Okay, so I have multiplication and addition here on the left. Okay, so I'm going to do the 9 times 3 first, which is 27. Okay, put my plus 5 in there. And I have to ask myself, is 5 plus 27 equal to 32? And of course the answer is yes. So that confirms my answer of h equals 3. Alright, last example for this video. We've got 20 minus 4d equals 8. So very similar to the last one, we need to find what the d is equal to. It's being multiplied again. There's also subtraction going on. Okay, now this one gets a little tricky because you might think the 20 is being subtracted, but the 20 is actually positive. There's sort of an implied positive out here that is the 20. So the 20 is actually kind of being added. It's the 4d that's being subtracted. So we're going to do BODMAS backwards. We're going to deal with the subtraction first. Okay, except we're actually going to deal with this addition first. We're going to get rid of this 20 first. It's the positive 20. So if there's a positive 20, in order to get rid of that, I need to just subtract 20. Okay, so positive 20 minus 20 is 0. So we're left with just negative 4d on the left. Okay, and now we have 8 minus 20 on the right. So 8 minus 20, well, 20 is bigger than 8. That means we're going to end up with a negative number. Okay, so we end up getting, 8 minus 20 is negative 12. So our equation becomes negative 4d equals negative 12. Okay, and we've got multiplication, negative 4 times d. So to undo that multiplication, we're going to divide, and we're going to divide by negative 4. Okay, that what was a minus has kind of turned into a negative. You'll notice it's like, so like I said, 20 minus 20 is 0. So this is like 0 minus 4d, or in other words, just negative 4d. So when we divide by negative 4. Okay, so we have on the left, sorry, negative 4d divided by negative 4 ends up just d. My animation's gone a little faster than I'd planned, but negative 12 divided by negative 4, because we have a negative divided by a negative, the answer comes out positive, and 12 divided by 4 is 3. So the answer is 3. But let's check that real quick. We'll copy the equation. I'm going to swap out my d for a 3, and I do the multiplication first. 4 times 3 is 12, and that minus just stays, right? The minus that was there is going to stay. The 20 stays. We'll put the 8 in there, and 20 minus 12 is indeed 8. Okay, so that confirms that our answer is 3. Alright, hope that helps. If you've got other questions, other example problems that you would like to see me solve, hit that subscribe button and send it to me in a comment, or you can email it or tweet it to me, or whatever works for you. Hopefully I can help you out. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you next time.